1, lesson 16, evaluate negative a minus the quantity a times the quantity p minus a, if p is a negative 2 and a is negative 4. So, what I recommended doing before is the same thing I'm going to recommend doing now, which is this. Each object that's a letter, so a is a letter and p is a letter, every one of those objects become parentheses, and then like grouping symbols maybe turn into a different grouping symbol around those things. So I've got a minus sign, which is just part of the expression, times our minus a, and then minus, and then this is a bracket, so I'm going to maybe go to a brace even. And then a, and then bracket, and then p minus a, end bracket, and brace. Okay, so I'm going to start off there. All right, everything in black is the original structure of the problem. Everything in blue and purple represents the letters I'm going to be replacing into that structure. A couple things that I'm noticing from some of you, and it's not uncommon. It happens year after year in algebra. I don't know what causes it to happen in the first place. It's a bad habit you picked up somewhere along the way. When a parentheses or a number or a letter is followed by a minus or a plus sign, that is an addition or subtraction always. Additions and subtractions can change to the other one, so plus can change to minus, minus can change to plus. Neither one will change to a times. A lot of people want to change this into a multiplication here, where this is actually a subtraction. So be careful that we don't do that. So make sure that if it's a subtraction to begin with, maybe it changes to addition, that's fine. Maybe it stays subtraction, that's fine. It won't change to another operation than those two. If I replace all the a's with its value of negative 4, so a negative 4 goes there, and there, and there, and I change all the p's to its value of negative 2, that goes there, that gets me this expression. Now, looking at this expression, I'm trying to simplify it as much as possible. First thing I would do, when you have something followed by a plus or minus, this has no effect on all this. Okay? They're separated by a plus or a minus. That means figure this out, figure that out. Add, subtract's the last step. So if I fix this while I'm fixing that, there's no harm in that because this object's being subtracted by that object. That's the last step of the order. So minus minus 4 becomes plus 4. No issue there. Minus. Now at this point I might start trying to make the grouping symbols a little bit less elaborate. Change this back to a bracket. This negative 4 is just negative 4. Okay? The minus sign outside the grouping symbol has to be dealt with after the grouping symbol is evaluated. So keep that bracket there keeps them separated from each other. Then I've got this parentheses. I'm going to change this bracket back to parentheses. And this purple object is just minus 2. And this blue object is going to be 4. And notice it's parentheses followed by a minus sign, which again, that's either addition or subtraction. It's not going to change the multiplication. So minus minus makes a plus, becomes addition. Then I've got my end parentheses and my end bracket. So after I substitute my numbers in, I'm going to try and make the expression I'm looking at a little bit simpler to look at, a little bit easier to do. Now, order of operation dictates that I have to do what's in the brackets first. Inside the brackets, I have to do what's in the parentheses first. So I have to evaluate this before I can do anything else. So this 4 is going to stay 4, that minus is going to stay minus, that bracket is going to stay bracket, that negative 4 stays negative 4. Negative 2 plus 4 makes positive 2. Anytime you're in a situation, should I add or subtract, look at the signs of the numbers involved. These are different sign numbers to subtract. 4 is bigger, so it's positive. Now I've got a multiplication going on here. 4 minus negative 8. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 negative makes a negative. Minus minus means plus. And 4 plus 8 equals 12. As you improve on these problems, you can cut corners. If you cut corners, start getting the wrong answers, quit cutting corners. If you're cutting corners, getting the right answers, see if there's more corners to cut. There's ways to speed yourself up. As long as you're not messing up along the way, there's no problem with it. If you try and cut corners before you learn the basic process and understand where everything's coming from, you're going to make lots more mistakes than you would normally. So be careful. Go at your pace on these, but again, have a goal of getting faster, but make sure you have a complete understanding, and as you get fast, you keep getting the right answer. That's where I'm trying to put myself if I were you.